Hey.
Welcome everybody, episode 1 of our gaming podcast. We're just gonna call it Game Chat for now. We're gonna figure out a name later. We're gonna start off introducing ourselves and then we'll get to it. Let's start out with you, BJ.
All right. So my name's Blanchard. I usually go by BJ. I've been a gamer my whole life. Surprise, surprise. Mostly RPGs, JRPGs, fighting games. I'm real big on fighting games. Also play tabletop games. Card games, board games. I've dabbled in D&D. So I would consider myself pretty qualified. A pretty qualified gamer. I do a variety of things.
Okay. Johnny?
Yeah, I'm Johnny. I've also, like BJ, I've been a gamer, I guess, my whole life. I think I remember, like, when I was 3 years old, playing my dad's old Atari in his basement or something like that, and had a few consoles growing up, Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis and N64, all the way up through the Xbox 360 and those. And then I think around then I made the switch to PC gaming, and I've been pretty much a PC gamer ever since, though I'll play a Switch or something every once in a while, get some Smash going.
Okay.
And also lots of Dungeons and Dragons myself. I've been a dungeon master for 11 years, I think. 11 years. And I bring a lot of new people into the game, and I love that too. So, hey, if there's room to talk about D&D here too.
Okay. All right, I'm Andre, your host. I've been gaming since I was 3. That's what my mom said. She first let me touch a controller. Favorite system, we'll talk about that later, but I've been a Nintendo head for a long time. I love sports games. I was highly ranked in a lot of sports games. I don't play them as much now. Gears of War was one of my favorite games. The 360 era really pushed me to a different level of gaming, I would say. That's when I, online play and things like that as such just started. I am not a D&D head like these two, but I might try to. Johnny tried to reel me and my brothers in, so I might try to get into some D&D. And we're gonna just take it from here, man. This is our first time doing this, all 3 of us, so we're gonna try our best, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. We're gonna get started with our today's topic is gonna be favorite systems and favorite games. Everyone's gonna pick one system. Me and Johnny talked beforehand. I guess PC's included. I guess we're gonna include PC. So we're going to get it started there with our favorite system. I think I'm going to go with Johnny first.
Okay. So I guess we might want to talk about what it means for a favorite system. So things that I was sort of thinking about when we were talking about this topic were how can I factor out nostalgia? I think I think that's such an important.
Good luck.
Yeah, right. I think that's such an important piece for the systems that I had the most fun with. Because I think back to things like the Super Nintendo and the N64, and the games that I was playing at that time they feel like such a big part of my life. Like I would look forward to getting back from school to like hop on these systems and just like spend my whole afternoon into the evening, as long as my parents would let me play. Just on these games. Things like Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo. Things like Phantasy Star Online on the GameCube. These were games that I sunk countless hours into, and I guess now that I think about it, I'm listing mostly Nintendo consoles. I think I was mostly Nintendo when I was growing up. I think my favorite's probably in there somewhere. I might say N64.
Okay.
That might be because of just where I was at my time of life. Like it was. I feel like N64 and systems around that same time were in like the golden age of gaming, where like the technology was really catching up to what people's imaginations were allowing, and people still had heart in game design, if that makes sense. I feel like these days so many games are put out like by AAA companies that are just like, oh, this is a money-making project. We're putting this out to get cash. Whereas back then, this just may be me being jaded, but I feel like people cared about their projects. Like when you think about Ocarina of Time and the original Smash Brothers and games like those still stand up. I mean, like it might be hard graphically for someone to go back and really get into them, but games like that still stand. I think for now I'm going to say N64.
Would you say you feel like games are easier to play these days? Do you
That's
think they
a good question.
cater to the more casual people, casual fans?
I think as gaming has grown, as the audience of gaming has gotten bigger, I think that's sort of been a necessity. I think the level of entry has to be lower because there are so many more people that are interested. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because I think though there are probably a lot of games that are easier, I think those same games typically allow for increased difficulty. So I'm thinking of Baldur's Gate right now. So you've got the story mode up through tactician, through even honor mode now, which is almost like the hardcore version of a playthrough. So I do think that there is an element of accessibility that's been built into games these days. And I also want to caveat, because sorry, you got me rambling now.
No, it's all good. Enjoy it.
Because Baldur's Gate is a good counterexample of a recent game that was clearly built by people with intense passion about what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because there are ways that they could have made more money by like putting in microtransactions and selling cosmetics and all that stuff. Those things that we gamers tend to get really frustrated with, and yet may still end up paying for. That's an example of, like, you know, what game design ought to be. People that have a vision, a passion, and will build it for the experience.
Yeah, no doubt. DJ, what about you?
All right. So he was talking, I was thinking, because it's like so many different eras for me, and I don't know if I could, you know, it's all nostalgia. Like, I can't take the nostalgia out of it. Like that, for me, it's a big part of it, because I had a time where I was on N64. I had a time when GameCube would have been my favorite. I had a time with PlayStation 2. So I'm just trying to think, and it's a really hard choice for me. I might have to go with the GameCube though, because that was like a prominent time of my life when I was living in Detroit. Me and my boys, we were playing. Oh, we had Smash Bros. Melee. You had Mario Kart, Double Dash. You had Sonic Adventure 2, one of my personal favorite games.
Oh yeah, great game.
With the Childs, and then it was cool because we all had our Childs, and I would get my memory card and go down to my boy's house, and we'd do child races and child karate all the time.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, and then even Zelda. I think one of the only Zelda games I actually finished, Twilight Princess. I played that one on the GameCube. So I would definitely have to go with the GameCube. It's really near. I got one sitting right here right now. I rebuilt my collection.
Okay.
I rebuilt my collection because I just missed it, and a lot of times I have a lot more fun playing it than some of these newer games. It's like you said, man. I feel like nowadays it's like cookie cutter. It's like one game gets popular and makes a lot of money, and now everybody's trying to make the same game. Like even so, how many Souls likes do we have now? How many? Yeah. Dang near every game is open world now because of what Breath of the Wild did. Like, and everybody's trying to recreate that. It's like you said, they're just trying to make money. So I definitely enjoy that feel of, man, this was back when it was just about gaming, man. You know, it's just about creating a fun experience. You know, and a lot of couch co-op.
Yeah.
So I definitely will have to go with the GameCube.
GameCube?
Yes, sir.
For me, easy. You just stole my answer, but it's easy for me is the GameCube, man. Just a lot of, so I could almost cry. Just a lot of memories with the family, man, the brothers. I mean, my sister. You talking about Phantasy Star Online? I mean, we were bike riding Johnny, talking about Phantasy Star Online. Me and my brother spent hours playing that game all through the night. We got into some WWE Day of Reckoning, it's called. We played that. What else did I play? One of my favorite games, I guess I'll say that for the next segment, but one of my favorite games is on the GameCube. I don't know if you guys ever played Eternal Darkness, but that's one of my favorite games. It's just a lot of good times. Smash Brothers. We didn't play traditional Smash Brothers with 1.0. We played 2.0 Smash Brothers. So if you get hit one time, you die. So if you get hit by one time, like if Donkey Kong does this little pound, you get hit by him, you die. So I had like 2,000 KOs. My brother will tell you, we always look on the leaderboards. What else? Game that people don't like. 2 games that people don't like are 2 of my favorites. Super Mario Sunshine, people don't like. I actually enjoyed that. And one game I really like is Donkey Kong 64. So Donkey Kong 64, you gotta be Cranky, Diddy, DK, and you going through and you gotta throw peanuts and open up these secret things. And a lot of people didn't like it, but I definitely love that game.
I'd sunk countless hours into that one. I think is the criticism that is there too much to collect? Is that I think that's what I've heard about that one. Yeah, but I remember playing that one a lot. Fondly. Yeah, and the versus mode, like with the orange grenades and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if because I know BJ, I was just talking with your friends in the Discord. I don't know if this was on GameCube or not, but Gauntlet Legends is one of my games too.
GameCube.
Yeah,
that's right. Game. Legends was N64. Dark Legacy was GameCube.
Okay, I didn't play Dark Legacy, but I love the Gauntlet Legends. Me and my brothers.
Mm-hmm. I think Dark Legacy was practically a remake. I think they switched a couple things around, but it was almost the same game, but updated graphically and stuff.
Yeah, so that was a favorite game of mine. I'm trying to think Time Splitters 2. I don't know if you guys played that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Played a lot of that.
Yeah.
Pirates. So that I just have a special place with that. And then you get 4 players, and I always felt like Nintendo consoles had, or you had PlayStation where you usually only can plug in 2 controllers, but then you had to get the attachment. Nintendo always came with 4 slots available right there day one, so you can just go get started, get some couch co-op going, Smash Brothers, some Mario Kart, things like that. I'm not a big Zelda fan, but that adds to it, when you got the Zelda games to also play. That just adds to the nostalgia and allure of Nintendo consoles. So it looks like all 3 of us picked Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, and I was, as we were talking, I was thinking a bit, and I might have to tie. It's a really close second for me between the Xbox.
Okay. So the original
Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
When Xbox came on the scene, it was like a real changer, right? Because it was Nintendo and Sony going head to head for a while, and then Microsoft came in with the Xbox, and they dropped Halo, right? Like perhaps the most revolutionary first-person shooter we've seen ever.
Yeah.
And the days, weeks of time that we all spent, my brother and our friends playing Halo, and especially Halo 2. Everybody coming over. So this is a experience I only ever had with Xbox. People, we had a dozen people come over, and we had people bringing 4 or 5 different Xboxes.
Yeah.
And we would all hook up together to have these massive LAN parties where we would have these 6v6 matches and 12-man free-for-all, those sorts of things. That stuff only happened for me at least, on Xbox.
Yeah.
So I feel like we'd be remiss to not at least mention Xbox and how important it was, at least to me.
I can't think of the name of the Xbox game. It was like a kind of dinosaur shooter. It was one of the launch games for original Xbox. And it had a character named Tex on it. It's like a little shooter. I had to ask my brother. I had to text him, but that was a pretty good launch game for Xbox. I gave Xbox, so I was one of those fanboys back then. And you weren't telling me anything bad about Nintendo. They weren't. I said the Xbox is trash. I'm not getting it. And then me and my brother got one from my mom for Christmas. And then I've been an Xbox gamer ever since then. So
also PlayStation 2. I can't throw any shade on those consoles either. I played those as well. Things like Mega Man X4 was a game I spent a lot of time on. I think that was that PS1 or PS2? I can't remember.
Let me see.
And gosh, what about?
I believe it was probably X4.
Yeah, X4. I think it was PS.
PS. Forgive me for cheating.
No worries.
They ain't cheating.
Shoot, they don't even freaking say release 1997. That sounds like PS1.
Yes, PS1.
And then, Grand Theft Auto, GTA 3.
Oh yeah.
I think that was PS2, right?
Is that San Andreas?
San Andreas was
San Andreas was PS2 for sure.
Yeah, that was like GTA.
GTA 3 was also PS2.
Okay.
So anyway, the original one is probably PS1. And you think it'd be easier to just see.
Yeah, so there are huge games and great experiences on every system, I think, that we've mentioned. But
I think you just swayed me a little bit because most of my life now, the Xbox introduced me to that. When Phantasy Star came out, and I remember me and you talked. I brought the little broadband adapter for the bottom of the GameCube.
Yep.
And I was a big online gamer. I still am now. So when that original Xbox, party chat and all that stuff, Xbox Live, that kind of opened up a whole new world for me myself. You know, I love gaming online. I don't really like playing single player games. I think I've told both of you guys that, but gaming with friends and gaming online, that's something I thoroughly enjoy. Let's move on to our favorite games. This should be interesting. Now, we're going to qualify. Well, first, let's talk about either one of you can go. What makes something your favorite game? Is it the system? Is it how much fun you had, the people you played with, how many hours you spent on it? What would either one of you say constitutes as your favorite game?
For me, like I said, I maybe I'm not good because it's all the nostalgia for me. It's like I said with the GameCube, a lot of my favorite games on there were my favorite because we were always playing and we were on the block doing the couch co-op every day, going down to somebody's house playing Smash. Everybody sitting there talking trash, playing Smash, playing Sonic, playing Mario Kart. These are all my favorite games because of the experiences that I had with them. You know what I mean? And then there's also some that like kind of introduced me. Like Final Fantasy X will forever be just one of my favorite. That's really like my favorite game of all time.
Just playing that like yesterday.
That's my favorite game of all time because it was the first RPG that I ever played, and it was the first game to open me up to that like really like story oriented like drama, a lot going on, like evoking emotions in me as a kid. I'm like, man, I'm just used to just playing, having fun, just whatever. Now this game, it got me crying. It got me.
I was just gonna say. I think I remember crying when like Yuna and Titus are like
man,
in that one scene, like when they kiss finally or whatever.
Yeah. It like disappears or whatever. Oh, I'm talking about in the water. Yeah, when the music starts playing, that's what I'm saying. So that type of stuff really does it for me.
Okay. What about you, Johnny?
Gosh. Okay. So this one's sort of tough because there's a couple different ways that I could think about answering it. It could be like games that I played the most, or games that I like remember the most fondly. Because if we're talking about games I've played the most, I mean, it's probably like League of Legends or maybe, between League of Legends and World of Warcraft, probably League of Legends. But as I think I mentioned even before we started recording that, sort of got an interesting relationship with League. It's like I enjoy playing it, but I also hate it. Like I don't know if that. I think if people that play enough League, I think will relate.
It's like playing Call of Duty, basically. It's like people play Call of Duty.
Sure. Yeah. I think thinking back, the games that fill me with the most like positive emotion, I don't feel so conflicted over. Honestly, Final Fantasy X's up there somewhere. It's such a great game. I think I usually go with Super Mario RPG. I think I mentioned that once before, and that was my first introduction to RPGs. And as a kid, it was like this whole world that like you had the freedom to go around and explore, and it was accessible enough for me as a kid to be able to feel like I was really, really good at it, and like I was able to make progress. And there were secrets to the game that I was able to discover, and even there are still some now that I even haven't seen, despite having gone back and played it a few times. Okay. It was just really charming, and the music was really delightful, and it has a really special place in my heart. So I think I'm going to pick that one.
Okay. For me, so I played the Gears of War franchise the most, so that's why I asked that question, because I played that way more than no game can come close to how much me and my brothers have played Gears of War. But I wouldn't say that's my favorite. So for me, sometimes it goes with like moments or something, like you guys said, introducing you to a new genre and things like that. For me, the game I mentioned earlier, Eternal Darkness, like I said, I love the GameCube. I take it back to Saw 1. I don't know if you guys ever seen Saw 1, the movie, but at the end of the movie, that guy had been sitting there the whole time and he gets up. And to me, that was still to this day, like no one knew that. If someone tells you they knew that he was sitting there and he was alive the whole time, they're lying to you. I don't care what anyone says. I'm gonna stick to that to the day I die. They're lying to you. So Eternal Darkness gave you these moments where it's like a sanity game, like kind of like Hellblade 2 that just released today for Xbox. She's going through all these moments of psychosis. So I'll never forget, I'm playing with my brothers and I'm on here and I'm just playing. And then on the bottom of the screen, if you remember the old GameCube games, it would tell you when it's saving or deleting. My head's character chopped off and it said all your memory card is being deleted. And I said, what is happening? How did I put something? No. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then that was just a psychosis moment. And I'm like, no game is ever like, I'm like, do I need to push reset? Do I need to open the disc? Like, what's going on? My brother's looking around like, did you push something? And then next thing you know, it just ends. And it's like, no, your game is not being deleted. Everything's good. Everything's okay. And it's like, damn, they got me for real on that one. I was like, about to start raging a little bit. I'm like, okay, man. So I mean that's I wouldn't say that's like a well-known game like a Mario or something like that, but for me and who I am, it's crazy because I love multiplayer games, but as a single-player game, that is something that I just thoroughly enjoy because you would just be walking down the hall and your limbs would fall off, your whole body would come apart, and it's like, it's the game glitching, is something going on, and then they put them back together 5 seconds. They make you wait a little bit. Like after my game deleted, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Then 10 seconds later, they're like, okay, all right, you're good now. So Eternal Darkness for the GameCube for me is that was my deal. I would ask, the next question I was asked is, what is today? What's your favorite game to play today? You got to jump on something right after we finish this. What would you jump on?
I would play a lot of Civilization, Civ 6.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
These last couple of weeks I've been getting back into it. And I think yesterday we put in like 4 or 5 hours and got, maybe a quarter way through a game as you do.
Sounds about right.
Yep. Yeah. And so that's a game that I've been playing with my friends a lot recently, and we're all just trying out new different strategies, just trying new things in the game, and there are so many different ways to approach victory in Civ. So that one's gotten my attention the most at this moment.
And you're playing that on PC, obviously?
Yeah.
I wonder, do I have that on Game Pass for free? I might have to try it out. BJ?
For me, lately, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's been tough. It's been tough for me to find something to like stick to. Like, I haven't even, like, I've been playing stuff. I'm gonna probably play Stellar Blade just because I haven't played it in a while. And it is a good game. But lately, it's been hard for me to find that one that just sticks with me. Like, if I'm being honest. So, maybe, I kind of jump around. Like, I'll play a little bit of Stellar Blade, then I'll play a little bit of Street Fighter, a little bit of, I've been getting into this Dragon Ball card game. So they have a digital client for that game that I've been playing really hard. But there's not really one game that I could point out. Helldivers had me for a little bit, but I haven't even played that one in a while either. So there's nothing that's really just like been able to just get me like, you only playing me. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of jumping around right now.
Yeah, I was feeling the same way for a while, and then I think I realized that I'm starting to get older, and like as I'm aging, I feel like my reflexes like are just not. It's either I'm slowing down or like the kids these days are just so quick that it's hard for me to play competitive or fast reaction games. So like League, I feel like I'm suffering. My League play is suffering. Dead by Daylight, it's not. I'm having trouble. I usually play killer, and it's not going so well these days. I think something that's brought me really to Civ is that like I can sit and think about what I'm going to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
And like I can click here and then click there, not have to worry about how fast it is, unless we're in a war. And anyways, but I think So I think my life circumstances have brought me toward one game, and right now it's Civ.
My brothers would like I said, we played a lot of Gears of War. Once they see this, they're gonna laugh at me. But the reason I got off of that so heavy was, but I could tell that my reaction time is not, when we were ranked very high, it's not nearly as much as that. So I could tell, like, man, just like they say, the athletes, you get a little bit slower, you get age. I could tell, like, my reaction time is starting to slow down. Where I was at the top, and I'm like, man, I'm sitting here with the controller, like, I'm about to get off. I'm a bum now. Let me get off this. Let me get off. I'm putting this controller down, and they looking at me like, man, you used to be at the top of the list. Now you're at the bottom. I'm like, I barely can get a couple kills, man. What's going on right now? So that's one reason I got off the Gears, along to that same point. For me, Johnny, you already know this is Dead by Daylight. So, I don't know what it is about it. I think that has something to do with it, too. I told my brother, that's just a more simple game. Like, I'm not trying to play Apex and shoot someone. I'm not trying to do any of that. Yeah, I'm just sitting there. I'm doing a generator, running from a killer. I don't really have to put too much thinking into it. It ain't too much reaction time for me, myself. Like, I just sit there, enjoy myself, talk on a headset with you guys, and then I'm also a big horror fan. A lot of people know that. So with all the licenses, the Michael Myers, the Jasons, the Chuckies, all of those guys, that just keeps me coming back. But with honorable mention, BJ will know this, I can't seem to put down Marvel Snap, man. Every time I get on my phone, it's just I just play it, and I sit the other day I set my whole lunch break at work, which was an hour and 20 minutes. I played Marvel Snap the whole time. I was like, man, I ain't eat, I ain't do nothing. I'm like, I guess I probably should have did something, man. So just the Marvel aspect for me keeps me coming into it, and it's just a simple game. It ain't nothing hard. You just play with numbers and put cards down, and that's where I'm at, man. Dead by Daylight and Marvel Snap for me. What do we have next? So I want to go with that. What is? We all said GameCube, so we talked about GameCube, and we talked about some Nintendo consoles. Like, if you had to right now gravitate towards a console, old or new, PC obviously that has everything going in. But let's go with more nostalgia. If you had to gravitate to a console right now, which one would it be? It could be NES, it could be Atari, anything. Which one would it be if you had to gravitate towards something? Someone said you could pick any console. Which one would you pick? And that doesn't necessarily goes towards your favorite, but that could be like, this one has more fun games, or this one had, something like that. If you had to gravitate just towards one, which would it be for you?
Gosh,
I changed it up a little bit. I changed that one up.
Change it up.
Yeah.
Changed that one up a little bit, just to throw us off a little bit, get us uncomfortable.
Right.
What would I get? Go ahead.
Would it be cheating to say Xbox 360 because it's backwards compatible with Xbox 2? Like, can I?
No.
Okay, I might say the 360 because so on 360 you had you could the two games that are standing out to me right now are The Elder Scrolls Morrowind, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, and The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and you can play both of those on an Xbox 360. Yeah. And wait, there was even Skyrim on the 360, right? Couldn't you? Gosh, it's been a long time.
I don't know if Skyrim's pretty. I don't know if you could play that on that.
If it was on the 360, I think it might have been like.
It was, yeah. It was Xbox 360.
It was?
Oh. Yeah, you can.
Wow.
It's been a long
I've
time.
been around. That goes to show you how long you've been around, man.
Yeah.
Dang.
You can play the 3 latest Elder Scrolls games on the Xbox 360.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That seals the deal for me.
Okay.
Not to mention the Halos. There are, I think, 3 different Halos for the 360, maybe 4.
What about you, BJ? One system, gravitate towards it.
I was gonna try not to do this, but I'm just gonna do it because I'm just gonna have to double down and say I would just go back to the GameCube, man.
Okay.
It's just too much. There was too much there for me, like Billy Hatcher. A lot of people didn't really know. A lot of people don't really know about it like that. but that was one of my favorite games. Sonic Adventure. I still play Sonic Adventure on Steam to this day. I'll get on there
Okay.
and do a couple of stages and
Yep. I just got
check out my childs.
TRT.
Now I got like all the childs in the garden now since I'm older and I know more of what I'm doing with them. So now I got all the fancy ones. Like I said, just playing Mario Kart is always fun. I have to go through the list, man. I got the whole stack right here. I never finished Wind Waker. That's a game that I wanted to go back and finish.
Yeah.
So I never finished that game. I played it back when it first came out, and I never got through it. Yeah, like it would definitely be the GameCube, man. It's just too much. Like, it's probably the system that I've had the most fun with in my life.
Okay.
Like, it just has a total. When I think about it.
That.
Yeah, I don't think there's another console that I had where I'm like, I just had this much fun playing this many different games on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to double down. I was gonna try to mix it up, but I just can't, man. The GameCube was probably like just my best console of all time, if you ask me.
For me, it's gonna be a push. I know we shouldn't be doing that, but it's a push between the GameCube and the 360. Because the 360 with the online play and the games, the amount of games you had, that was a very special time. And I didn't have to go through the Rare Ring of Death. I was one of the few.
I was just thinking about that. That was like a huge caveat. Like I want a good 360. I want a 360 that like I want one of the like 10% that didn't ever have the problem.
One thing I want to throw real quick about the Red Ring of Death, because I actually had an Xbox that did have one, but it actually turned out to be kind of a godsend for me, because that's when I first got into online play, because I had to send my Xbox in. When they sent it back, they gave me like a free 3-month Xbox Live card, and that was my intro into playing online for the first time. So just a little piece I wanted to throw in there. So it actually turned out to be a blessing for me.
On the same kind of note, my mom used to always get mad because I was the online gamer, but this was before we had the routers and things like that. So I used to shut the entire house down. I would go straight from the modem or whatever it was, but it wasn't like you had multiple connections. It wasn't Wi-Fi. So I was straight to my Xbox and play online. And she's like, "You still on them?" It's like 2 hours later, nobody can use the internet. No one can do anything. So I was kind of deadlocked a little bit. Like, all right, I only got an hour or 2 hours. But the 360 was the console where I was, I don't know if I ever told BJ, but I was ranked, I remember I was ranked number 511 in Madden. You know how many people play that. I was ranked number 1 in the world in 2K. My brothers, everybody can tell you that. I was ranked number 4 in NBA Live. And my highest ranking in Gears of War was 506. So out of thousands and thousands of players, the month I was ranked number 1 in 2K, I went 58-2. So I was really good back then. I was a real big sports head. So actually, I'm probably gonna have to go with the 360 just because the online element, just playing against people, talking trash, having fun. Those Call of Duty lobbies were gruesome, man. They were tough.
Those changed somebody. You go through that stuff, and you're ready. You're ready for life after.
Yeah, they're not ready for that these days. No. They're not ready for them old Call of Duty lobbies, man.
What game would you say I'm going to throw one out of left field for you. What game would you say that you had the most fun with? So it could be cracking up with friends, just have, like, you had the most, like, enjoyment, like, fun with it. And I'm going to go first, actually. It's a game called South Park. It was on PS1. I think it was on PS1. South Park Chef's Love Shack.
Okay.
It's one of the so me and my brother, me and Q, y'all both met my brother. We started with my uncle. We started playing it at like 7 p.m. and we went to bed at 5 a.m. We played that thing almost 12 hours. And Chef, I had you cracking up. It's like, so they did it in like a Wheel of Fortune Family Feud kind of thing, where it's like a game show. You got to answer questions and then you play mini games. I guess kind of like a Mario Party-ish. You play mini games. And the joke, you guys know South Park humor. The jokes that would be on there just kept you. We played it almost 12 hours. Finally went to sleep the next morning. And South Park Chef's Love Shack, if you haven't played it, if you haven't seen video of it, go look at it, man. I love it. That's the game I've had the most enjoyment just playing and joking and crying, laughing, like what's going on here, So that's one for me.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of a game that. So I don't know if something comes to mind with a really similar experience to that. I don't remember like having a lot of like humor. Let me. Can I think about it? Can I come back? BJ, are you ready with one?
Yeah, I can go because this is for me. This is gonna be the same game I've been talking about since we started.
Okay.
That Sonic Adventure 2, man, it was so prominent. Like if my boy was here right now, he could tell you I used to be running down the street doing the Sonic run, and then he'd be running from the opposite way doing the Shadow run. Like, I'm telling you, we used to do it like that. The final battle where you get to play as Super Sonic and Super Shadow, and you have to switch between them.
The
I would do
music that's
Sonic
playing in the background in that fight.
Yeah, live and learn. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Pass the controller back. Like when it was Sonic, I would have the controller, then I would go, do my hit, and then it would switch to Shadow, and I would pass the controller over to him.
Oh wow!
And then he would do it. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it was too much because it was a really big thing at that time for me. I have to say, like I said, I will still play that game every day.
My favorite song from that game is the Pumpkin Hill one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Then the soundtrack is every song on there is a hit. We still listen to in the Discord. We still play those songs to this day as well.
Nice.
So that forever is probably the game that I just ever had the most fun with, man. As an adult and as a kid.
Sure. I think I'm gonna go with Halo 2. I think it's got to be Halo 2 because that was the first time we really developed like a community around a game for me and my friends. Also Phantasy Star Online. I was trying to pick between those two, and I think
I forgot about.
Yeah. I think it's got to be just the sheer number of people that we had involved with Halo 2. We would order like pizzas or get like a couple of crave cases from White Castle, and we would just have like a dude's night. We would just have like a bunch of our friends come over, and the emotions would be flying, man. You'd hear people screaming like across the house. I don't know how my parents like put up with it, man. They were something special, man. Those nights were great because not only the game but like the interactions outside the game, and like people were making bets, and people were like just the vast range of emotional experiences associated with the competitive nature of Halo 2. And then when people discovered that you could do like the BXR, like the sort of exploit like moves that weren't supposed to, there was arguments would break out about what was fair and what wasn't, and it was great.
What I think me and you might have talked about this. Have you tried the new Phantasy Star, like the more current version of Phantasy Star? Have you tried that?
Yeah, I think it's what's it? I forget what it was called. So one of the most fun things about Phantasy Star was again, we had this sort of little community around it, and we would try to like farm the rare drops, like the red little boxes, like with the secret weapons.
Oh man.
And then like when one actually dropped, it was like, whoa, we got it. It's like this 1 in 100 chance or something like that to get this item. And I remember playing the more recent version. They were just everywhere. Like you'd go in a dungeon and you'd clear, you'd get like 3 red drops or something like that. So it was like
what the?
Yeah. So like you didn't have to work for it. Whereas back in the old Phantasy Star on the GameCube, we would come together like on the weekends or something, and we'd play, and then like we'd show off these new weapons that we worked for hours to actually get and stuff. And there was something really special to that, which I feel like just isn't there, at least in the latest version of Phantasy Star that I tried.
Okay. Well, that kind of goes to something you said earlier. I know you said they need to lower it a little bit so people can get into it. I like a game to be difficult. I think I've never played Elden Ring, but I watched BJ play it on the stream. I want something that's going like, all right, I died like 12 times. Let me key. Like some people don't want that. They want it to come easy. I want something where it's going to take me some time to work up to it. I don't want to just run through the game. I want to actually have a difficult time playing it. I know I'm a different beast in some things, but I wanted something that's going to challenge me. And that's why I don't play any game on easy mode. I usually go to like normal or hard or BJ's talking about Helldiver. I guess go to the hardest mode on Helldivers and getting killed on ever. But I like a game to be more difficult than easy. Let's see what we got here. What we have here down there. I had another question, but I can't remember it. We're not gonna do that. Is there a moment with friends that you like? You playing something? I know BJ, you've been talking about Sonic. You playing something? You in a game and you like, y'all look at, you can't believe this happened. Somebody got a triple headshot kill. What's a good game in memory for you guys?
I think those moments are most common in Smash Brothers, and the various editions of Smash Brothers for me and my friends. A lot of times there'll be we've played so much over the years that, and some of my friends, we still get together and play occasionally. We'll have draft, like we'll have Smash drafts where like 8 or 9 of us will get together and we'll all pick our people and all that. So we've built up that, like we've got such a history that we all have reputations for like how we play and like which characters we play and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So and the way the gameplay in that works is it just allows for so many of those moments where like you can always end up with a surprise and somebody gets like a surprise hit or something, and an upset will happen, and like somebody that you don't expect to win pulls one out, and it's I have to say Smash is all of the Smashes.
Okay. Do you still play like the current Smash, that Ultimate? You still play the current?
Yeah, we're playing Ultimate. Yeah.
Okay. BJ, what about you?
All right. We've been talking a lot of classics, so I'm gonna bring some more recent example to it. So, and there's a reason why Helldivers had me. Helldivers, they had me in its clutches for like a good month of just me loving this game. Like it gives me an experience that a lot of games can't give you nowadays. But there's like been countless moments where it just seems like it's all over with. Like we about to fail the mission, and then I just run out there and I'm like, no, now like they see me in Helldivers, they know I'm like the chosen one. We're gonna get it done. I'm gonna have some kind of clutch moment that gets us out of a situation. So it's like billion bots surrounding you, the little drill mission or whatever. Usually you have to like turn the drill on and calibrate it and all that. You have to keep pressing the little sequences on it, but then you're also getting bombarded by like what seems like endless amounts of enemies. And I'm just like, sitting there, we down, I'm the only one left, last life, and I'll run up to the thing, I get to the console, and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm like sitting there trying to put in the combination, and literally at the same time that I literally hit the last button, I get hit with a rocket and we finish the mission. It was like mission completed, game over. Like you know how it is. As long as you complete the mission, you win. So it was literally like the very same second that we completed the mission, it was game over. And it was just like, man, it's a good feeling. It gave me I really felt like I was like, I can't even think of somebody. It's like whoever was just, somebody just saving the planet. You know what I mean? Like at the last second.
It's a great game too. Yeah.
It is, and it produces a lot of those moments. It really does. So for me, that's definitely a big one. Like they still talk about it. I get in the Discord, people start bowing down. There he is. I'm like legendary now. So it's a great moment.
For me, I don't know if Johnny would have played this, but the NBA Street games. So me and my brothers, I did a lot of stuff with them, playing games and stuff like that. We would always, my mom would always rent us a hotel room, and we would take our games and stuff there so we can swim and stuff too. So we went there. I was old enough now, so I drove everybody, everything. I rented it. We paid our own money. So we got this demo on the 360. I'm pretty sure we got this NBA Street Volume 3, I believe. And we're all in the hotel. We almost got kicked out. Telling you this story. We're all in the hotel. And BJ, I don't know if you remember Volume 3 where they could like run off the backboard and do like a flip dunk and then run off.
Oh yeah.
And we dang there. Our hotel
did all type of shit.
Shaking, man. we didn't win. He jumped off the backboard 3 times. It was like, what? This was just a demo, man. So I mean, they came. Guys, you're too loud. There's probably like 6 of us in there. and we were so excited for that win. But that was just a moment that one of my favorite moments of us was just like we just playing a game, and then next thing you know, this stuff happened and doing a special move, and we are like, all right, let's go crazy, let's go nuts. So we all went kind of a little bit nuts. So it was a fun time, man. Any games you guys excited about coming up? Any exciting new games you guys excited about?
Most recently coming out, I think it comes out Thursday. Mario 1000 Year Door. I never played that game as a kid, but I'm excited to experience it now.
That is, yeah. Yep, you just unlocked a whole bunch of a whole series of games that we didn't talk about. Paper Mario and Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, which I would be comfortable calling sort of the spiritual successors of Mario RPG. They were like they're the same format of game, just like a very different version of it. And yeah, I didn't even know it was coming out. Is it a remake of 1000 Year Door, or is it?
Yeah, it's on the Switch. It's coming out Thursday. Yeah, Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. I think they did change some of it, like, modernized it, and I think they might have changed some of how it works. Again, I never played the original game, but I'm looking forward to being able to experience it now because, I mean, I guess you could always emulate it, but that game, if you try to go to one of the resale shops and buy it, it's like not cheap. It's like a couple $100.
I might still have mine, actually. I might still have my copy.
It's like, it's not a cheap game to buy nowadays.
Maybe I should try to sell it.
Add it to the collection.
Right. Make some money.
Yeah.
So that's the first one that pops into my head. Just maybe because it's coming out in a couple days.
Okay. Johnny, anything you excited?
Yeah. I think Civ 7. I think Civ 7 is. Yeah. I think I heard rumors end of this year, but I also heard that that's probably not likely. So next couple of years, Civ 7's coming out. That's exciting. I think, that's the only thing that I really got on my radar at the moment.
I know this been kind of a theme for me, but hopefully it's gonna be announced in 2 weeks with Gear 6. I'm hoping that's something.
Okay.
I just love Gears of War. I can't. It's even that franchise that's for me, and the gore and the gameplay and all that stuff. So it's supposedly to be announced coming up here soon. So Gears of War 6, I would say that is my favorite.
I just had something just came back to me too. The Haunted Chocolatier. I don't know if we're so this is Concerned Ape made Stardew Valley. Yeah. So the maker of Stardew Valley is working on a sequel. He's just slowly working on it, and he's released a little bit of content for it. Haunted Chocolatier is one that I really like.
You said Haunted Chocolatier?
Yep.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one. I have to look into that.
Yeah, so it's if you like Stardew Valley, you're probably gonna like. I presume you'd like this as well. So very similar sort of concept. You inherit this, or you somehow own this chocolate factory, and you go out and like kill little monsters and get ingredients and that sort of thing, and you make and sell chocolate. It's another just really charming game that I feel like will scratch every nostalgic and cute itch that I ever would need.
No, that sounds like a good one. Another one that I want to mention, even though who knows if it's ever going to come out or when, but they've already showed trailers for it and whatnot, is whatever this new Fable game that's supposed to come out, I don't know when, it may never come out for all we know, because they've been talking about it for years. But I'm really hoping that it comes out and it's actually a good game, because especially for Xbox, because I ain't gonna lie, there's not really a lot of Xbox exclusive type of things that I was really into, but Fable 2 in particular was probably like one of my favorite games to come from like Microsoft.
Okay.
And then Fable 3 was just not there. Like it took a lot of the good features that was in Fable 2 and Fable 1. They got rid of a lot of that stuff and traded it for like real estate and like buying and selling the houses or whatever, if I recall. So I'm really hoping when this game comes out is gonna like revive the series, or at least be a standalone good game itself, because I like the games where if I make choices, it affects things, like you can't, even in Fable 2, you can't even eat, like if you eat too many pies, your character starts getting fat. That little stuff like that, if you start eating celery, then you start losing the weight again.
You
make evil decisions, your character starts to more like a demon. You make good decisions. The character starts to look more like an angel. I appreciate that type of stuff, and
Yeah,
that's why I love Fable the way I did. And they took a lot of that away in Fable 3. So I'm hoping when they make this new game, they realize that that's what people were playing the game for, and it's a lot of potential there. So that's another one that I'm looking forward to whenever or if it ever
if they
comes
come
out.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Games with choices like that are they're so much fun. Like role playing games with those sorts of choices with consequences are so. Have either of you ever played the Knights of the Old Republic games, like those old Star Wars?
Star Wars, I have not.
Yeah, I've never played it either, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard of it though, yeah.
They're so good.
I've heard a lot
so
about
good.
it. Yeah.
So I was thinking about the original Fable and how, like, if you were good or bad, you would grow horns, or I think
Exactly.
you Halo if you're good or something like that. And the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic games too. If you went the light side, you got like really handsome, or like you looked healthy, you looked good.
Okay.
And if you went the dark side, you guys have seen like the dark side characters in Star Wars. They get all veiny and pale and like sickly looking. That's such a cool feature. And when not only does your character change, but like the environment changes around you too. Like people treat you differently based on your choices. I really respect games that have those mechanics.
Absolutely. Yeah, because a lot of games have gotten away from that, man. You don't see that a lot anymore. Like I said, I feel like they're just focused on like this core element of something that a lot of people liked and just want to recreate it. Like there's not a lot of like the little nuance. Even like San Andreas, you go to the gym, workout, your dudes start getting buff. You eat too many of the fast food, but you're getting fat. Like that's the type of stuff that I really appreciate. It's almost non-existent in games now.
Yeah.
Let's go with a little segment I like to call Quick Pick. You got 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Quick Pick. You got 5 seconds. So I'm gonna say, what's your favorite something? Like if I say, what's your favorite fast food place, and you just come. So it's gonna be about games. So quick pick.
Okay.
All right, first one. You got 5. Say quick.
Okay,
right,
hold on. So you're gonna what? Oh, you're gonna name like a favorite something and just whatever comes to the top of my head. All right.
I'm not saying. Let's use the example. Favorite RPG. Then you got 5 seconds to pick something.
I got you.
Ready? Favorite. Yes, y'all can go at the same time. So I want you waiting, thinking about it. Favorite Mario game.
It's Mario 64.
64. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Mario 64. All right. Favorite Mario Kart game.
Double Dash.
64. Mario Kart 64.
64?
Yeah,
wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Can I change? No, this is the quick pick. I got to stick with that one.
What would you change it to?
What was it? 7 on the Wii? What was the one on the Wii?
I think it was 7.
Yeah, I think it was 7.
Yeah, because they got 8 on the Switch now, right? So
yeah, I think
probably 7.
If I could have 5 more seconds, I would switch to Mario Kart 7.
Favorite I don't know if BJ played it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Favorite Halo game.
Halo 3.
I think I'm sticking with 2.
Halo 2, Halo 3.
Halo 3. Yeah, that's the one that I played the most for sure.
Okay. I got that off the line. Favorite. Oh, this will be a good one. Well, I think I already know because both of you said the same thing. Favorite Final Fantasy game.
10. Easy.
Yep.
10. All right.
That's an easy one for me.
All right. Let's go one more. Favorite. This is general category. Favorite shooter.
I might say Battlefield, actually.
Gears of War.
Depart from Halo and say Battlefield.
I'm saying Gears of War.
Gears? I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm with you when you're right. Hey.
I'm not the biggest shooter fan in general, but I wasn't going crazy like y'all because I seen that you posted like a little montage on Facebook or something. I saw y'all going crazy in the Gears.
That's my. That was
Gears 2 and Gears 3. I even like the campaigns. Like Gears 3 campaign is one of my favorite shooter game campaigns. So I'm definitely going Gears on that.
I think the things that Battlefield so in Battlefield, you not only did you have like you could fly jets and stuff, man, the air combat in Battlefield was so much fun, and the sniping mechanics in Battlefield, you were like they had the bullet drop stuff, like where you actually had to like accommodate.
So you gotta really measure it all.
Yeah. There was I remember just really getting invested in. So I think I had more fun with the gameplay in Battlefield, but I had more fun with like the social aspect of Halo. So I think if I had to pick favorite shooter, maybe even series, I think Battlefield. But like the golden ages of Battlefield, back in I think it was Battlefield. I think I might be specifically thinking of Battlefield 2,
okay,
or 3. Maybe I think it was 3.
3, okay.
Can't remember. I think it was 2. We'll say Battlefield 2.
Okay. Favorite, I've never played this series, but not a lot at least, but favorite Zelda.
Gosh,
that's a tough one.
Tough one between Ocarina of Time and
Ocarina of Time. I'm gonna go Ocarina of Time.
I think I'm gonna go Majora's Mask. Even okay, I need to explain.
Okay.
I think Ocarina of Time is an objectively better game than Majora's Mask, but I think Majora's Mask, something about the story of Majora's Mask really reels me in, and something about sort of like the desperation of people that like know that they're doomed, that like the moon is about to crash into their town, and there's like the drama of like people that choose to stay and they're in denial and stuff. There's so much like going on with that game, and I think that I think the things that take away from that game are that they reused a lot of assets from the original Ocarina of Time, but I think it was because they had like a year. I think I read once that they had a year to develop that game after.
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
So like I think they had to cut a lot of corners, and yet even so, still made an experience that really sticks with you. At least it really stuck with me. Yeah, I think that still is probably my favorite, even compared to the modern versions of Zelda.
I was going to ask because every time I'm listening to a podcast or reading something, Majora's Mask seems to get the short end of the stick. So I was actually going to ask that question, why?
Yeah, and I understand why, and I think that like the 3-day cycle is sort of hard to really get into. I think a lot of people, I know when I first started playing it, I didn't like that. Like, I had to reset my progress every 3 days, and it's not as once you understand what's actually happening, it's not as like punishing as it might seem, but there are some things that you have to sort of get used to, I'd say, and then you have to accept that a lot of the assets, like I mentioned, are reused, but I think the story and the sort of the creativity that they infused with the different masks and the transformations makes up for all that stuff.
Okay, last one. Favorite, this is a one that's near dear to my heart. Favorite Pokemon game.
Oh,
Gen 2.
I was going to say gold, yeah.
Yeah, gold, silver, crystal.
I was going to say silver. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look, for me, because I stand this game, like whenever this conversation comes up, I will always stand Gen 2. For me, the only thing I have to say, it's the only one where you got multiple regions in one game. How come they never went back to that? You know what I'm saying? Why is it still the only one where you can go Kanto and Johto? You know what I mean? Like they never tried to do that again. And I was confused about that. It's got my favorite designs for Pokemon. And me personally, I kind of feel like it kind of went downhill a little bit after that. I mean, it was still good, but like Ruby, Sapphire, I not the biggest fan. Diamond, Pearl, Platinum was good. And I don't know. And then you see what they're doing with it now. Like it's almost a completely new game now. So
yeah.
I think my favorite Pokemon, my favorite moment in all of my Pokemon gaming was in Gold, when I accidentally happened across one of the legendary dogs. Like they were just out in the world, and like I know you could track them on your map or whatever, but I just happened to accidentally encounter one. It was like, whoa, oh my gosh! So the stress, the excitement of just trying to catch this dog before it did they run away? I can't remember.
Yeah, they definitely ran away.
Yep. So just moments like those were really strong for me in Gold, and like the idea that they gave you a telephone, and there was That was the first Pokemon game with day-night tracking, right? That was the first.
Yeah.
And I remember the Red Gyarados and was that the first one with shinies too? Was that the first?
That I don't
Yeah, I don't
think
know about
so.
that.
I think there's always been shinies, but they're hard. They were used to be hard to come by. Now I hear it's pretty easy to come across them.
Okay.
But you might make me look it up, but I'm pretty sure they were there.
Shiny boys. Yeah, silver for me, man. Silver. I kind of dropped off after gold and silver though.
So it looks like shinies were first in gold and silver.
Oh yeah, you're right. You were right. Yep, I did. Yep. First introduced in Generation 2. Huh. See, I didn't know that either.
See, I can't keep up with it now, BJ. That was another question I was gonna ask. I guess I didn't know. I thought every Pokemon game. All right, you got these Pokemon. Once you get these new Pokemon, you're going to add them to it. I didn't know they didn't do that. So then I'm sitting here like, why you got all these Pokemon, but you only got a certain amount in the game? If you got 600 Pokemon, put them all in the game.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of people's issue with current Pokemon games is why they're trying to like section them off. It's like you get this many in the base game, and then now they're doing DLCs for them. So now it's like, okay, we're going to add some more of them in the DLC. It's another one of those, just trying to make some more money, I believe. And even now, I think any of the new games, even with DLC included, does not have every Pokemon in the game. Which it's not really an excuse because I played this ROM hack of Pokemon Fire Red called Radical Red. And it's in Fire Red engine. It looks like Fire Red, so it's looking like a Game Boy Advance game. And it literally has every single Pokemon in it. That somebody I don't know how they make the games, but somebody made it. It has every single Pokemon up to current in the old format.
Okay.
So I'm like, if some regular person can sit at their house and make this game, then why can't Nintendo just put every Pokemon in the again, I think it's just them trying to ration it to be able to sell it to you as more DLC later.
And why didn't Pikachu ever evolve? That's still a question. You know what? I ain't even gonna get on my soapbox right now, man. I ain't gonna start. You done seen every Pokemon evolve and get stronger. This man can't evolve. I don't know,
man. In the show or in the game?
In the show.
Yeah. This might not be a real memory, but I feel like wasn't there an episode where Ash was asking Pikachu if he wanted to evolve or something?
Yeah, he had the stone or whatever.
Yeah. That's
back in the day, he did. He had the stone, and he was they were kind of fighting about it, and Pikachu didn't want to do it. He actually lost to Raichu in that episode. And then Ash was kind of telling him, hey, man, if you do this, you probably could take him.
That's
Pikachu was like, no, I don't need that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pikachu was basically like, I don't need that. I could do it without evolving. And he did, so.
Yeah, somehow. Ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Let's close it out on this. Our final segment, man. You guys got 21 questions to guess this game. 21 questions to guess this game.
Okay.
And we're going to do different segments. This is our first one. And we got 21 questions to guess this game. Only yes or no. And you can't say it was only a yes or no answer. That's all I can say. If the question's too hard, then I'll go to something else. I already picked the game. When I was searching earlier. But what I'm going to do in the future is ask my brothers or somebody, I might ask my sister, maybe pick a game, and then we'll go with that game so I don't pick. So I'm going to keep the questions on here, and you're all set. You can ask years, you can ask any yes or no, it's up to you. Console over, you can ask whatever.
You want to take turns, BJ?
Sure.
All right.
I already had one off the top of my head. It's just only yes or no questions. So I'm going to ask, is it a classic game?
What would you consider classic?
Anything below PS3, I would consider classic. Like PS2 and before.
Yes.
Okay. That don't narrow it down a little bit, but not much.
Is it a Nintendo game?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got classic Nintendo. All right. Are
you counting, Andre? Are you keeping track of our?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Okay, let's see. Is it a Mario game? Okay,
I'm
hold on.
gonna pause this here right quick. So Peach just came out with a game. Luigi has a game. Yoshi has a game. When you guys asking those, so I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
For me, I'm gonna go with no. If you ask, like, all right, Peach had a Peach's game, and you ask me if it's a Mario game, I'm gonna say no.
Oh, okay.
So now if you say if it's in a Mario franchise, I would say yes.
Okay, so it's the wording there. I got you. Okay.
So is it a Mario game? No.
Okay.
Does it take place in a haunted mansion?
Oh, that was a good question.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting.
Okay, all right.
You can take the guess. You can ask. You only get one of the guesses.
Does it feature a character named Professor Egad?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's Luigi's Mansion.
Are you telling me? Are you going with Luigi's Mansion?
What do you think, BJ? Is that our final answer?
That sounds pretty good to me. I never played Luigi's Mansion, but I mean, there's not too many games that take place in a haunted mansion that I know of. So I think that's the final answer.
Well, hold on. Let's see. Well, okay, yeah.
Which one though? The first one?
I think. Well, the first one really I think the first one would
That's
be
the only old one, right? When did 2 come out?
Yeah, I'm saying Luigi's Mansion, unless he's considering, unless he'd consider Resident Evil a Mario game, which
Right, that's what I was thinking, because like Resident Evil 0, I know is kind of a haunted mansion kind of deal for some of it.
I'm pretty confident with that.
Yeah, I'm confident too that it's Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah. Correct. It is Luigi.
All right. Hey, my man's had the great question right there, man.
It was yours with the Mario question and the Mario question.
Setting it up. Okay, so yeah, we played off of each other, man. We did
exactly.
Teamwork.
Absolutely.
I figure after he asked that question, I said, y'all probably gonna get it. After BJ said that, because that kind of told you that it was in the Mario universe, in
the realm, yeah.
Wow,
absolutely.
And you did either one, BJ. You said you did. And Johnny, did you play Luigi's Mansion 1?
Yeah, that was so on Christmas Eve, on the night that I received the GameCube from my parents. We got Luigi's Mansion along with it, and it was the very first game I played on the GameCube.
Okay. I'm trying to get this up here if it can. So I don't think I told you my mom was great, single mom, 4 kids. I was so mad because she would always give me the new systems all the time. If I asked, she would give me a new system. So she GameCube's out, and she, I knew she was going out. She was gonna try to get it. She comes in Christmas Day. She comes in with socks, like a black thing of socks, and I'm like, man, socks. And I'm over there. This is like my last gift. I'm like, why she do this to me? So she said, look inside. So the socks were open. She said, look inside the socks. It's 2 games in there. It's Madden in there and another game. I think it was Smash Bros. And I was like, what? And then she says, well, turn around and look behind the couch. And there was my indigo blue GameCube. I'm like, here we go, Mom. There you go. Thank you. There we go. So that was my little GameCube story. I'm trying to get this up. Let me see if I can get this up real quick. See if y'all can see this. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. Look at those graphics.
That was
that's pretty good.
From N64 to GameCube, that was incredible. That was really
good. No, that's good.
Yes. That's a good Luigi's Mansion 1. Man.
Funny because I have never played this game. I never even really knew what it looked like that. As crazy as that might sound.
Yeah,
it's one that I got to go back. Look, I plan on scratching some games off my list, man. Things that I've never played. So we'll get there. We'll put that on the list.
All right, so I'm gonna just stay on. Don't go anywhere, but I'm gonna stop the recording here. In our first episode. So thank you, BJ. Thank you, Johnny, and thanks for everyone watching. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
All right. Yeah.